Look files are a really great way of baking out your materials in a way that can be shared and reused across multiple assets and projects. The Look file workflow streamlines the link between the Look development and lighting departments by enabling a Look dev artist to create and assign materials and then bake the Look development out as a .klf, a Katana Look file. This file can then be shared with the lighting department, where they can apply the Look dev to one or more assets, and the material creation and assignment will occur just like that. If you've implemented USD in your pipeline, you can also use the USD material bake node, which works in a similar way but bakes out a USD file instead. So in this example, you can imagine that I'm a Look dev artist and I'm happy with how my materials are looking on this asset. So now I'm ready to pass it over to the lighting department. To write out the Look development, you first need to create a Look file bake node. And this node works by taking the difference between 2 points in your node graph before and after the material creation and assignment occurs. So plug the orig input into a node in your node graph which sits above the material creation and assignment. And then the default input can be plugged into a node after the creation and assignment. By doing this, we're capturing the material changes between these 2 points in the node graph in relation to a scene graph location that we're going to specify in the parameters. Open the parameters, and in the root locations, you can enter the scene graph location that you want to write the look for. And you can add multiple locations here if needed. Next, you can browse to the location and type the name for the look file in the save to parameter. And this will be where the look file gets saved out to. In the output format parameter, you can choose whether to save as an archive or directory. If you choose archive, a single .klf file is written, and if you choose directory, then a directory containing the .klf file will be written out. So I'm going to leave this as archive for a single KLF. Click the Write Look File button, and that will bake out the look file. And now that this look file is baked out, I'm going to open up another Katana scene. And this is the project that a lighting artist will be working on. So the lighting artist would now be ready to bring in those materials that were baked out as a look file. I'm just going to set off a live render so that we can see the materials update as they're brought in. So now I'm going to place down a look file assign node, and this node assigns the look file to the specified scene graph location. So drag from the scene graph to the add statements dropdown. And then we can load in the look file. So navigate to the .klf file and load it in. And as you can see, nothing seems to change just yet. The asset still doesn't have any materials assigned, but if you select the asset and jump into the Attributes tab, you can now see a Look File subtab with the location of our .klf file. And if I disable the Look File Assign node, you can see that this lookfile.asset attribute is what's being created through this node. And this attribute is storing where to retrieve the look file without actually applying it to the scene graph location. In order to apply the look file, we need to place down a look file resolve node after the look file assign. And as soon as this is placed in the node graph, you'll see the materials will be applied to the asset as the live render updates. And if you look in the Attributes tab again, you can see that the look file resolve node is making a few changes here, but mainly adding this info look file material assign attribute, which points to the look file material. So the material is not only being brought into the scene, but is now being applied to the asset. Another way of bringing a look file into your scene is by using the Importomatic node. And this is a really useful super tool which allows you to load geometry and assign a look file all at the same time. So I'll just show you how to do this now. I'm going to disable the look file assign and resolve nodes, create an Importomatic, load the drag and alembic file, and I'll just swap the alembic in with this Importomatic. So now you can see we have the dragon loaded with no materials as we had before. And so now you can right click on the alembic inside the Importomatic parameters choose Assign Look File, browse to the look file and load it in. And using this method, you will still need to use a look file resolve as well. So I'll just enable the one I placed down before. And as you can see, the materials are now brought into the scene in the same way as before. So now we've covered how to bring the look file in a couple of different ways and apply it to our asset. And you can see how easy it is to go from our untextured asset to one with full materials, look dev, and assignments all applied. And this look file can now be applied to multiple other scenes and instances of this asset as well, as long as the immediate hierarchies in the scene graph correspond. You can also make edits to the original shading node network from within this scene without having to jump back to the original. There is a video for how to do this on Foundry Learn under the course on using the network material edit node. I hope this introduction to look files has been helpful. Thanks for watching.